In today's video, I'm going to do a review and a demo using Chanel's Le Beige Eau de Teint foundation. Now this is their water fresh tint, and it's kind of a different, totally strange type of product, and I want to show you how I use it and tell you what I think. Let's check it out. Le Beige de Teint. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is a Foundation Friday, and it's one that I've been really excited to review, and this one is by Chanel. As Gary will tell you, it's taken me 15 takes to get the name of it right. It is Chanel's Le Beige Eau de Teint, which means water fresh tint foundation. And this is not a new foundation. It's been out for, I don't know, 2 years, maybe 3 years, but it's new to me. And I only found out about it from my good mate Patrice, who said, Mary, you absolutely have to try this foundation. Now, she knows that I'm not a full makeup kind of gal. I like subtle things that just help my complexion because I like my good skin to show through rather than trying to cover everything up. Okay, so this came out, I guess, about 2 years ago, and it was billed as cutting edge technology. And in fairness, it's got some new stuff going on that I've never seen before, and I haven't seen since, but that doesn't mean it's not out there. But it's sort of a micro encapsulated color that is suspended in fluid, specifically in water and glycerin. So great stuff for the skin. Now this is 60 quid. This cost me 60 quid at, I think I bought it at Arnott's or Beach or Brown Thomas somewhere here in Dublin. But in the package, it comes with this guy, and it's a lovely little brush. Many people love it. It's a good quality brush. I didn't love it for this product, I have to say. I did give it a couple of tries, but for me, it wasn't great. It's not my favorite brush. I haven't really used it much at all. So this is what Chanel says about it. It's created with micro droplets of encapsulated pigments that melt into the skin, creating a radiant bare skin effect. So it's supposed to just blur things a little bit. It's supposed to hydrate your skin, and it's also just supposed to make it look a little bit better. This is not a heavy hitting formula. If you like medium to high coverage, this is not going to be the foundation for you. I'm not even sure if it's a foundation. Now they bill it as a foundation and they say it's not meant to be worn with anything else over it, but it is supposed to give luminosity. It is deeply hydrating, and it has lots of good skin-loving ingredients. Okay, so a bit of background. My skin type, I'm 50 years old, and I have relatively normal skin that sort of leans to the dehydrated space, which is what happens when you get to be my age. You're starting to deplete everything. So I tend to be a bit on the drier side, but pretty normal skin and relatively good conditioned skin. So I like my skin to show through. So in theory, this is going to be the best product for me. Okay, so I have tried this a couple of times to try to figure out if this is a product that's going to work for me, because when you first use it, you don't see a huge amount of difference. It's just a subtle blurring kind of a thing. So the first time I used it with the brush. I have also tried it with a sponge. I've tried it with my fingers just to see which of these work best. So the first thing I did was I used the brush, and all in all, I don't know. I didn't really like the brush. I think it was a little bit too packed for it. I thought that it left a bit of streakiness on my face when I was applying the color, and I just didn't like it, which is unfortunate because it's actually not a bad little brush, but I do think it's too short, and I don't really like the small kabuki little itty bitty brushes. I like something that has a bit more length to it. So all in all, I don't know, I wasn't necessarily mad on it. And when I compared it to sort of the pre-makeup face, I didn't really notice a difference. I kept going to Gary, do you see a difference? Do you see a difference? And I don't think there's much of a difference there. So then I looked at two other ways of applying the product, and first was using a sponge. And I dipped the sponge, into the product and applied it to my face. Now, I don't think that this was perfect either. I think that sponges just soak up too much product, and it's not great for something that's mostly water-based because it's just going to suck it up. So I tried that on one half of my face to see how that was going to work. And, And then on the other side of my face, I tried it with my fingers. And again, you're suggested that you put it on your hand, and then you put your brush into it, and it kind of helps those little capsules explode and the color is released. So I used my fingers to put it on, and I don't know, it wasn't my favorite way to apply this either. And when you take a step back and you look at your face before and after, again, I didn't see a huge difference. My skin felt good though, I have to say. It's quite hydrated, and that's a beauty to this product, is your skin does feel nice and dewy and hydrated. So today is probably the way I prefer to use it the most, and I'll just insert that demo here. Okay, so I've already done my skincare, and I've let all that seep in, SPF and all that, and we are going in with probably my preferred option actually, and I'm using a small stippling brush. This one is by e.l.f. It's the small stipple brush. I like this one because it has quite light bristles on it, and it's also not too long. It's quite short and long handle and stuff. I think I'm liking this one better so far. Now, I don't really do a concealer, but what I do is I use an under eye kind of a color corrector. It's really a brightener because I don't have massive dark circles under the eyes yet. I assume I'm going to have to start using a concealer at some stage, but whenever I put makeup on, I start with this. This one is from Becca. It's the Under Eye Corrective Concealer, and I use this in a light to medium, and I just put this on the corner of my eyes just to brighten up that section a little bit where there can be a bit of shadows, and sometimes a tiny bit on the outer corners too, but not a lot. It's just to kind of brighten it up, and then I put my foundation over it. Okay, so what I'm doing with this is I'm putting this directly onto the brush. I think when you put it on your hand or when you put it on the palette, it does start to break up a bit. So I'd rather keep it fresh until it gets on my skin. I'm going to put on 2 small pumps, and then you can see how that color just starts to disperse a little bit onto the skin. Okay, so that's pretty much it in place. Now, it does feel a bit wet. It's kind of one of the things that I like about it because it does have that super hydrating feel, but you do kind of have to leave it to soak in a little bit. So what do you think? It's subtle, right? Like super subtle. It does make my skin look better. It gives me a little bit of a veil. That's what I would call this, is kind of a veil. But does it give me enough coverage to last me throughout the day? Now, this is the third way that I've attempted to use it. And what I have found is if I actually put a little something on top of it, that's what makes me happiest. Okay, what I like to do, if I feel I need to just give myself a little bit more coverage, just a tiny bit more, because I mean, I think this has a lot of benefits, but longevity isn't one of them. And sometimes you just feel like you need a bit more. I layer that with just a little bit of my beloved Laura Geller. This is the Baked Balance-N-Brighten foundation in medium. And I love this. And this is the one I wear a lot, just as my regular foundation. So I find if I just swirl just a little bit all over, just amps it up. Now, what do you think? Just gives a tiny bit more than it on its own, but it still feels good. And I think it still has that luminosity to it. What do you think? Okay, so the final verdict, and it's funny because I did watch a lot of reviews about this after I purchased it, and I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's okay. I'm going to use it up and I'm going to keep playing with it, but I think that its purpose, its intended purpose, isn't great for me. I mean, I think that if you need to make this product do more, then it's kind of defeating the purpose. I think that if you have perfect skin, if you're young, this is really going to be a nice option for you. And I think on summer holidays, which is I think where Patrice discovered this, she was in Greece and she wanted something that was just going to help her out a little bit. I think it's lovely for that. And I probably will use it, not that I'm going to be going to Greece or anywhere sunny anytime soon. Well, that's kind of a lie, isn't it? Going to Florida next week. But anyway, I think it's going to be good for that sort of thing. And I would say that I love the way that it makes my skin feel. It feels super, super hydrated and like it's doing good things for my skin. However, if you have oily skin and you live in a hot climate, I can't imagine this is going to work with you unless you use a primer, which I personally never use, unless you use a finishing powder, which I try not to use. So all the things I think that might make this better are things that I don't want to do. So I did find that this, with this together, gave me a better finish. It gave me a better look. It's what I've got on now. It's not great for filming. It probably doesn't give me as much coverage as I would need to be on camera. However, for walking out the door, it's great. And I do think that my skin feels good. And that's one of the things that I like the most about this, is I feel it's nourishing my skin. Glycerin is my favorite. So I love what's inside of it. Just not exactly sure about the finish. So that's it for me today, guys. It's funny. I think this is kind of one of those love-hate products that I haven't given up yet, because you can see I've used this much of the product, and I'm going to finish it all. I'm just going to keep tinkering with it because I think the spirit of the product is right up my alley. That less is more, just blur things a little bit, help my skin shine through. I think it's really good for that, and my skin loves the feel of it, so I think there's some real benefits there. But aside from that, jury's out. I'd like to hear your own opinions, not you, Patrice, because I know how much you like it, but anybody else out there. Have you tried this? What did you think of it? Did you think it's great? Did you have to put a lot of stuff with it? Maybe there's some tips you have or some secrets for, ways of using it that I haven't tried yet. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, as always. So please leave some of those details down below. And if you like the look of this video, I hope that you will subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and also hit that notification bell so you know every time a new video is uploaded, which happens every week. So thank you so much for joining again today, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Can you just do it again? I didn't have the camera on. No?
Too soon.
Too soon?
Too soon. Too soon. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look and doing a review of Chanel's Le Beige Shit.